Point number 2, the Quran advises us as well in this regard, and the Sunnah in this regard as well. Point number 2, do not hold petty grudges. Do not keep in your heart negativity based upon some small stuff. Forgive as much as possible. Overlook as much as possible. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran in Surah At-Taghabun, again about spouses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a verse that requires an entire khutbah, but we'll summarize it. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, inna min azwajikum wa awladikum aduwwan lakum. Some of your spouses and some of your children, they are your enemies. Now this has generated a lot of discussion. What do you mean, my spouse and child is my enemy? And the scholars say, listen to this. The meaning of this is not that your spouse and your children want to harm you. It's not that your spouse and your children will drag you down because of who they are. It is that chances are you will fail in your obligation towards them. And you will be your own worst enemy in your treatment of them. You will not be able to do justice. And so, in order to be a good father or a good husband and you fail, it is as if the cause of your downfall became your spouse and your children. Not that they brought your downfall, but you failed to live up to your responsibilities. So Allah says, فَاحْذَرُوهُمْ, be conscious, be careful. Be careful, because one of the main causes of failure is failure in marital life. One of the main causes of failure is failure as a parent. So Allah is saying, be careful. Because one, not the only, but one of the causes of your failure might be your own spouse, might be your own child. So be careful. فَاحْذَرُوهُمْ. Then Allah gives us a simple tactic. وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Allah tells us to deal with our own inner rage, inner anger. One of the easiest mechanisms, stop holding grudges for the petty stuff. Because what happens when you have a grudge, when you keep the petty stuff in your heart, is that you overreact, you overcompensate. Rather than doing something trivial and rebuking, in your anger, in your rage, you will become the zalim, you will become the tyrant. So Allah says, وَإِن تَعْفُوا. And if you were to erase from your heart that negativity, وَتَصْفَحُوا, turn over and you leave. Give them another chance. Tasfahu, literally you turn the page. Like, give them another chance. Let the past be the past. Let bygones be bygones. Don't hold it in your heart. وَتَغْفِرُوا, and forgive your wife, forgive your children. Let it go on. Let it go. Don't hold it in your heart. The Quran is telling you, be careful. Your spouse and your children will be the cause of your downfall. Then Allah says, but you can save yourself. How? By having a clean heart, forgiving. Don't hold grudges. Give them another chance. تَغْفِرُوا, forgive your own children, forgive your own spouse. This is one of the strongest mechanisms to protect yourself against yourself and the excesses of your own family and children. This is a beautiful and powerful verse that teaches us that family and children are a test and trial. And one of the easiest ways to overcome that test and trial is not to concentrate on them, but to concentrate on me, to concentrate on ourselves, to let our hearts not fret over the small stuff, not become bogged down by every single petty issue. Let something of yesterday be yesterday. Life goes on. You have a future with this woman, with this wife, with this mother of your children. You have another 20, 30, 40 years. Why are you going to hold this small argument yesterday and cause it to lead to something much bigger? وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. Ta'fu is the highest. Eliminate. If you can't do that, tasfahu, give them another chance. Turn it over. Let it be in the past. And always, وَتَغْفِرُوا, forgive, forgive, forgive. Not for the sake of your ego, not even for the sake of your spouse, for the sake of Allah, and also for the sake of your children, for the sake of marriage. You need to maintain your marital happiness, not just for your happiness, but for the happiness of your children and for the happiness of the entire society around you. This is the second advice that the Quran gives.